Hello, listeners. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Howell, who is the founder and owner of SPX Gym Design, a company that has been transforming spaces since 2017, fusing interior design with custom gym equipment and creating bespoke wellness environments for high end homes of NFL athletes and boardroom executives. Chris has collaborated with prestigious brands such as Soho House Gyms, One Hotel, Gurney's Resorts, Proper Hotels, and C4 Energy. And his innovative approach to gym and wellness design has positioned SPX Gym Design as a leader in the industry. And we don't always get to create our own careers. Our values, our passions, our interests may influence them. But I think the hope is that they do become the founding of where we can, make money and spend most of our time. And Chris has done that. And through his work continues to revolutionize the fitness and wellness landscape and truly just live for himself. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Welcome to the Live Fearlessly podcast, everyone. It's time to get fearless in your career, in your life. Fear is just information, and you are stronger than an emotion. Before we dive into the episode, what's a win for the quarter right now that's like top of mind for you?
Yeah, I think probably a big win for me is like to really focus on driving fulfillment. We've had the past 2 years have been awesome around awareness, and I think we've always been kind of a little bit of ahead of the market, meaning we've always been super passionate about the space, and now it feels like the market is kind of meeting us where we're at and be like, wow, this is awesome. A lot of people care about it. So just being able to deliver an amazing experience every single time. So we kind of cap our clients for the year. So making sure that we're selecting and partnering with the right clients and being able to drive the best experience as possible.
Exciting 2025. So the market is catching up to the dream and the vision and the company that you built. So I love that. Well,
Yeah.
can you like share a little bit more about that? And I think this is a really interesting topic, so I might just kind of pop it into the recording right now.
Yeah, sure. Basically, if you're, I feel like I'm a little bit of a fanatic on like equipment and gyms and the experience and how it is. And so what I mean by the market is catching up to us, not that we're like thinking of like insane ideas and things like that. It's more about the care. Um, so I felt like when we first started this 2016, 2017, it was people just like, especially hotels or multifamily, just like, it's a gym. Why don't I just drop 500 square feet, put another revenue generating room into the gym and call it a day? Um, the market seems to be putting up a premium on and rewarding places that have awesome gyms, but not even gyms, like gym and fitness and wellness experiences. And the consumer is like driving that demand too, from just mocktails and how they choose to engage with one another, whether it's in a sauna versus going to a bar. That will exist, but 7 years ago, 8 years ago, that just wasn't a priority of people.
I'm going to sound very premium right now, but I took a vacation to Costa Rica and was picking different places to stay in. We were roughing it for like 10 days. We wanted to stay in this nice place, and I found this awesome venue with like a yoga like studio with a red light place, a sauna, an ice
Oh,
bath, and I'm
nice.
like, here we go, the gym that I want. Like I'm super active. I love my lifestyle. It's sometimes difficult in Costa Rica to find like running trails or a gym itself just because it's just like the way that things are built, the infrastructure. And I get there and everything is closed. I was just
Oh
like,
no.
I was so, and I was like, this is not acceptable. And it was just, so yeah, I think it is very much like this market premium that people seek and search for. At least I do. And I live in Austin,
Yeah.
Texas, and I think a lot of people here do. And it's great to hear that the market is listening to the consumer and
Yeah.
that the premium is like being seen as a value add.
Yeah, wellness tourism.
Oh, is that okay? I like that name.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, we're going back in time now. So, how are you living this awesome dream? I work with a lot of individuals that have athletic background, they're health and nutrition focused, but they're like, that's always going to be my hobby. I'm never going to be able to find a job that pays me well enough, that creates the lifestyle to have to do this, to live my values.
Yeah. Um, Shoot, huge question. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't really like took this approach before, but I think this could be maybe lead us down an interesting path. But um, I've been thinking a lot about it recently. Um, so my whole life has been revolved around playing just college sports. Um, that was just something I think my dad just it was like romanticized to me, and I just wanted to do it. I like the team aspect, all of that. Then when I got there, I just kind of fell in love with obviously the experience I had was great, but the amenities, or not the amenities, what would you call them? The facilities, I guess. Um, that we had a strength conditioning coach. We had everything that, a collegiate Division I athlete could have at their fingertips. And I was like, this is an incredible experience. And I've heard other people talk about their athletic facilities and experiences and how they even concepts try to bring it to the mainstream in the form of brick and mortar. But I think that inspired me in a different way of I was just even when we were traveling to play other schools and things like that, I wanted to see what the gyms looked like. Like what were the access and amenities that they had. Um, and so I just found myself like really obsessing over like the strength conditioning aspect. And I loved the performance aspect of like, oh wow, as I'm getting stronger and bigger and this and that, I'm seeing it translate onto the field. And um, when my lacrosse career ended, meaning like when I graduated, I didn't think past that point in my life. So like there was no like after college. It was like I was in college and that was my life for that time. So when it ended, I kind of was scrambling to like, well, what do I do? What do I like? And so I ended up on Wall Street and doing that for about 3 years or so. Mainly just trying to find my way, I guess. I knew I liked fitness. I didn't like the economics of like personal training, mainly because I was doing it at the time as well. Um, but I was depressed. I was super sad. I hated my job. I drank a lot. I spent a ton of money that I didn't have, so I was in a lot of debt, and that drove an intense um, anger and hatred, I guess, for my current situation. And it forced me to find what I had an interest in, which then came my passion. And the interest was fitness and business, essentially. I liked both of those things. I just wasn't interested in reading about the stock market on the weekends. I was more interested, what gym was that? Or, hey, what place, that you liked going to? Why did you like it? Um, so that kind of absorbed me for about 2 years where I ended up leaving. I took a cold calling job in 9 to 5. And then in the morning and the evenings, I just did personal training. And then, yeah, I kept pursuing it, like vigorously because I was really unhappy with my current situation at the time. And then I got an opportunity at a hospitality group, and then so on and so on. Became more gym design and product and things like that.
Yeah, that so on, so on. I would love to hear a little bit more. So, left the job you didn't like. It was just
Mhm.
too much, too much weight and negativity.
Yes.
Dove into personal training a little bit more. And then so somehow you got involved in hospitality. Tell me about like
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
portion.
so I was brought into this hospitality group to kind of curate a scalable group fitness concept. At the time, it was like Soul Cycle and Rumble and Barry's Boot Camp and all the stuff. Like everyone was paying like a lot of their discretionary income to go to a $40, $50 class multiple times a week and grab a smoothie or rent boxing gloves and like do this thing, take a picture. So it was like I understood what the need was or want was at the time. And then as I was doing it, I got basically looped in from this architect and he was like, "Hey, you're the fitness guy." I said, I guess so. He goes, "What are the best treadmills out there?" And it was just something from like ingrained in me on like interviews, like after college. It was like, if you don't know the answer, tell them like you'll get back to them, you know? So I go, let me get back to you tonight. So like I get home and I'm like in Google or PowerPoint or whatever that was, and I was like looking up like treadmills and this and that. And in the morning, I actually went to a retail store to measure like the audio levels of like a Peloton treadmill back in that then. And then um, I yeah, I sent that over to him and he was like, "Oh, great, this is awesome. Thanks. Can you do the same for dumbbells?" And then I go back and I just like I remember being like, "This is awesome." And so then me and this guy we formed a great relationship and he was in charge of like all the health and wellness for architect design there at that group. And yeah, he was just like, "Hey, can you help me with this stuff? I don't know what I'm doing." I said, "Yeah, sure." So then yeah, that kind of like catapulted not only my interest, but then I was kind of forced into think, well, this is my job now, essentially to so they kind of halted the group fitness thing, and then they were just, "Hey, you just help this guy make some cool gyms and wellness areas." And so yeah, I got to meet tons of vendors globally, people that were like startups that like at the time like Theragun, Whoop, all these people were like I was meeting them on the ground level because they wanted to be part of this hospitality group, and so like my network was growing expansively, my product knowledge was growing expansively, um, and just learning about architect design from this guy firsthand. So I did that for like 3 years. So it was like going to school essentially.
And almost like a trial for your business, I imagine. So like how did that launch from that to what you're doing now?
Yeah. So in the interim during that, I launched a business because I wasn't an employee of this group. So I kind of needed a way to create a business anyway. The way it was is like, "Hey, Chris, what's your business name?" And I was like, "Oh, let me get back to you."
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I went on like LegalZoom and created a business and was a consulting company. And that's kind of how it started, it really, frankly. And then, while I was there, I was getting more opportunities to do consulting because it was, hey, Chris, you understand how hotels and members clubs work. Like, can you help us? How much does that cost? And so then I was like, oh, wow, this is like, you can kind of wow, I can. How much? What do you mean? How much? What do you like? You tell me. What do you know? I wasn't in that. I would never experienced that before, so that was pretty neat. And then, yeah, I just really loved. I became an entrepreneur. I didn't mean to. Like, I didn't go out and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur." I just kind of fell into it, and I just liked all the traits of being one, I guess.
hmm
Hmm.
What were some of the false starts kind of on the path to here that you've tried with fitness and such?
Uh, while I was working in finance, I started a company called 5amtraining.com, and I would send out these workouts every morning to all the bankers and traders and stuff because everyone got to the office super early. And so I'd send out this like automated email with like compressed GIFs and then so you could be like, "Oh, I don't know what a Bulgarian squat is." You could scroll down to the GIF and it's like because it was a compressed file, it loaded immediately in your email. So you didn't have to like go, you could just go to the gym and look at your email. Um, that was kind of cool. And that was probably my first broach into mixing the fitness and business because I was like, people were responding to it, which was odd. I was like, whoa, dude. So people were like writing me like, "Hey, this was awesome workout. I did it. I shared it with my friend." So I got to see kind of firsthand. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. I just didn't know how to make money from it. Um, and then so then I like started t-shirts and I tried to sell t-shirts from underneath my desk. And so and then I started a website. And so I first started like Squarespace and went through that. Then I tried MailChimp. And so I was like learning all these tools, which funny enough, like ended up like coming back full circle later on as well. And I was like, oh yeah, I know this tool. I've used it before. So,
Mm.
and then I would say I didn't look at it as like other businesses, but I've tried to find, I was taking on different consulting engagements to figure out what I was really into. So I guess you could treat that as a little bit of like starting a business as well. Is that I've sat in a COO role, I've sat in like consulting real estate things, and it's just everything else kind of was just like, this is tedious, I don't like it. And then I just would always default back to like, why don't people just want to build gyms? I just want to do that. What if that was a career? So yeah.
And so looking into 2025, what is currently the like professional career snapshot in your world?
Do you mean like where I am today?
Yeah, and what you're working on and building from. It's like your journey so far has kind of been like you responding and creating from opportunities around you based on your values and your interests. And it sounds
Yeah.
like every time like something just you just kind of you're building the cake. Yeah, kind of cool, like fitness cake. But what what's coming up this year?
Well, I would say in 2020, I like dialed in. I was like, I'm going to commit to this business, and it's either I'm going to drive it and it's going to fail, or I'm going to drive it and it's going to become fruitful, but I'm going to do gym design. That was what I was going to do. So I probably spent, yeah, like 5 years, like thinking about the process, how to approach consumers. Do I want to look at commercial? Do I want to do residential? And just niching down. So today, we're quite niched down. We serve luxury hospitality groups and high-end multifamily gyms, and our kind of we fuse interior design with gym equipment. That's what we do. That's who we are. We do like homes and stuff, but not that many. Mainly because unless it's like a really like big project or someone who's just like they really care about their space and they're allocating square footage to it. But yeah, so for 2025, it's really just how do we keep serving these hospitality groups and multifamilies. I would love to get multifamilies more so like think of like an apartment gym or like in an Austin and in New York or Miami or wherever. They have an awesome opportunity to like compete like quite I don't think they even realize it, to set the standard to for their tenants or unit owners or whomever, like condo buildings or whatnot, um, because they have the ability to invest where maybe a hotel or members club wouldn't. But there shouldn't be a reason why people go to like a big box gym if they do it correctly, and that's where you live, you know? So
Yeah, we selected our apartment out here in Austin because the gym was 24 hours and it was recently redone and it was like state of the art. And that's why we moved in. That's why we stayed there for 3.5 years. And I've seen some pretty cool, unique gyms fused with interior design around here, but man, a lot that need a little bit of help. So,
yeah, I think it's also it's the experience, right? Like I think it's something like I borrow a lot from my past is that like everything that they focused on at that hospitality group was the member journey. They mapped the experience before anyone even stepped inside. Or do you hear, smell, touch, feel? Like, are you like, does the person at the front desk remember your name? How are they picking up the phone? Like, all those components matter. It matters to remember your first experience somewhere is always the most powerful one if it's delivered correctly.
mhm. So I imagine you have to like manage or work with other individuals and not sure kind of like the current team design, but you went from kind of like not having like those experiences to now like having those responsibilities. So would love to hear kind of your perspectives on, just like managing a business now as well as the people within that business.
Yeah. Well, I get to someone I really respect. They always just say, um, someone said, "Oh, they work for you." It was to the person I really respected, and he responded. He goes, "No, I work with them." And so that always meant a lot for me is that I was like the people I work with, um, and it's not we're not a big team. We have like six people I work with, I mean, sales, project managers, and designers. Um, I've done every step of the process on my own. So like I know the language they're speaking. I know how to do it. If that person all of a sudden called me and was like, "Hey, I quit today," like I could just step in and just do their job for them. But I would say that the past couple of years, I've invested in them to become better than me, I guess, or I've seen that they've had the potential to become better. So now, if they told me they're busy, what would take them 1 hour would take me 3 hours. No, it doesn't mean I don't know how to do it. I just don't know how to do it as best as well as them. Um, I'm fortunate too is that I work with one person that I played lacrosse with in college. So like I also know when he's like rattled and when he's not and when he's kind of maybe being lazy. The other guy is he's like one of my best friends who's in my wedding. So I can speak quite candidly to him. Um, but yeah, I think the benefit of a lot of the is I know what it takes for to meet a standard within our team, and I've also relied on uh, when I was kind of getting hiring people to work with me, is that um, I needed to set a standard of excellence, and I needed to pursue it. So um, I'd say to them, if you text me on the weekend, I'm going to respond and you're going to feel like you're working on the weekend. So if you don't want to work on the weekend, you shouldn't text me. Because I'm thinking about this all the time. So if someone was working with me and they were like working on the weekends, like 9 to 7 p.m., it's like, well, why are they working so hard? If I don't work, like I need to set that standard if they want to meet me there. If not, that's fine. Um, but everyone that I work with seems to be have uh they're all getting compensated competitively, I think. But it seems to be a bigger they love what they're doing and they like who they're doing it with. I see that. Um, so I think I'm at a critical point where the culture is like a is a big lever. And I think I'm like one person add on to where I need to get better at managing a culture and doing that. So I've
Mm.
only operated quite small and quite lean for the past few years. So yeah, it's definitely I'm in a growing phase of that for sure.
Yeah, if let's say you do end up hiring a couple more people in the near future and you keep growing, where do you see that you want to like invest in your own leadership growth and kind of team management skills?
I would say that like my team management skills is very raw because it's really only from what I've seen and experienced really as like an athlete and going through that, seeing a good coach and a bad coach and being able to identify that and like what motivated people, what didn't. Um, I would say probably something that I would need to invest in is really kind of like sharpening that tool. So something that like we've spent the past year and a half or so is sales. We've spent a lot of time investing in sales and myself and the other folks on the team. So I would probably run it down just like I've done other things or other tools that I needed to sharpen. Um, so I feel like you can only hustle your way to a certain point, right? So I feel like that's what I'm doing as a leader right now is like I'm leading with people that are actually all my friends essentially outside of work. But if I keep growing the team at the pace that I am, it can't be that tool will have to be sharpened as well.
Hmm. Yeah, like hustle in fitness is just like, okay, great, I can run fast, I can lift heavy, I'm resilient, I can push myself hard. You still need to like work on the technical aspects of the game and you still need to practice. And so when it comes to leadership, like, yeah, you can hustle and you can be resilient and what you can lead from the front, whatever it is, but it's like, oh, this is a skill. I probably should go practice and learn the skill more if I'm not getting the results that I want, if we're not winning the games.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. I think we had this like Navy SEAL guys come to like when I was a senior and when in college, and they came and they were like they would identify leaders from the coaching staff that would like they would want to put pressure under. And one thing I took away from that whole experience was that one of the Navy SEALs came up to the guy that was in front of me and he goes, "Hey, why are you so quiet?" Screaming at him, "Why are you so quiet?" And everyone's complaining. Like they're just quiet because we're struggling. No one's saying anything. And he said, like, he's like, "Do you know what's more contagious than the flu?" And and everyone's just like me and a couple of the people on this like log that we're holding over our head are listening to him. And he's like screams at him, "Enthusiasm." All right. And so then it drove home to me. It's like, even if it stinks, no one wants to do it. It's just the guy that's like, or a girl, whomever, is like, wow, like uh you're walking up a steep hill and the moment it creeps in, he's like, "Why are we going uphill?" You just respond and say, "Man, I wish this hill was steeper," you know? Or, hey, you get stuck in the back of the plane. It's like, "Man, I wish I was in the bathroom." They have a seat in the bathroom. It's just that you change the whole perspective of it. And so that's something that we laugh about, is that if a client's coming back asking for something that we can complain about, it's just this shifting of mentaling. There's like, "Man, I wish all of our clients were like this. It would make us mentally tougher." It's just like it's constantly like spinning it up. But you mentioned kind of the investment of that, and it was at that point in college, our coaches were investing in developing better leaders, and they did that by having these guys in and do this leadership training. And so it reminded me of that uh, when you mentioned the investing in that and specializing and drilling down in it.
I love that story. It's such a great example of like what sort of mindset do you need to have within a company? What sort of culture do you need to create the types of results that you are going to be proud of or that you're working towards? And being able to look at something and find the positive or to laugh at it as a team is going to lead to greater customer service, more productivity, more resilience, like all the great things out there. So really cool that you leverage that story and that experience now, today, and to help you kind of grow as a company. Personally, for you, what 2025, you told me what the company's working on. What are you working on for 2025 for yourself?
Um, Man, I would say we just had a little boy about a year ago. So he's turning one in the end of this month. Uh, I'm just trying to be, yeah, as more cliche as it sounds, a little bit more present personally on finding pockets of time where otherwise I would kind of find my mind drifting about work and business and stuff, is to being more present with my wife and kid. I think I would say that's probably the first time I've ever really thought about that as a goal. Uh, and then I would say adjacently to that would be, um, because I have this growing team, it's the pressure to that to perform has also been super inspiring and motivating to me. To again like deliver what the goals that I'm setting out for the company. So less of 2025, but like quarter by quarter. Um, So I think of it like that. We're thinking about leads and the customer experience through the process that we're offering, and how to enhance it and be better. And then as well as like finding new ways for people to experience the gym and increase compliance and inspire more people to get to the gym, or say hi to a friend at the gym, because community is like a huge component to driving compliance. And if you can get people to stay at the gym 10 more minutes, maybe they're going to come back a second day, a third day, a fourth day. So um, I would say, yeah, we really break it down like quarter by quarter. Um, and like I said, it's like one of our main things this year is around being better on the fulfillment. So not that we've been bad, it's just how do we create it even cleaner, tighter, faster? How do we get people's gym designs to them as fast as possible.
We'll have to say congratulations on the new family member and being present, right? The added responsibility of a business owner, and then having to also remember that you're a human too, not just a someone that's running a company. And just like an athlete, how do you always get better? So that is something that I think is always going to be a part of your team culture from what you've been sharing. And I have to thank you because I met all my guy friends working out in gyms, and I'm constantly, on this wellness tourism trek. So thank you for doing what you're doing. Any last, words for our audience? It is pretty incredible how you've found your values and your interests, your passions, your skills, and you've turned them into work, which a lot of people wish they could do.
Yeah, I think I speak to a lot of people that are like kind of can tell you they're trying to find, their passion. And I think people always find the people that they think they have their passion at the end, not the end, but when they found it. I think it's important to find and pursue what you're interested in first. Um, that if you would have been like, hey, Chris, is gym design your passion in 2015? I'd be like, oh, no, I don't really care about that. But fast forward, like that's all I think about now. So it started and budded as an interest. And not only one, it was three interests. It was fitness, design, and economics business, essentially. And the pursuit of kind of fusing them unintentionally and then refining it in a way that was appropriate for me, I think is one of the best things. I think when people see gym design, they're like, oh, this is cool. But you ask anybody on my team, it's like not what you think it is. We market it in a way for you to respond the way that you are responding. It's not how you actually fulfill. It's customer service, it's sales, it's what all the core skills that any business runs on is. We're no different. So if you hate your job because you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, well, that's what we're doing too, over and over. And I'm trying to push everyone to do it more over and over and over again. So yeah, I think for me it was big. It was like if I could go back and tell myself it would be pursue your interests, don't try to find your passion. It's like that really hit home for me like when I thought about it.
Yeah, and by pursuing your interests, you created opportunities to become passionate about the thing that you're working on. Like you created multiple streams of income, you created relationships, you had experiences, like it made it possible for you to have the business that you do today.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
Incredible. Thank you, Chris, for your time. I really do appreciate it. Thank you again for doing what you do and being a light unto others that are trying to figure out their path and helping us all get a little bit healthier too along the way.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Now get out there and live fearlessly.